What is the right way of approaching PSU stocks? They were the ugly ducklings for last decade. Now they become the swans. The number of PSU companies which are now part of 1 lakh crore club is quite extraordinary. Do you think PSU stocks are on the verge of hitting what could be called as a flat curve, or there is still a lot of re-rating left?
No, so first of all, I don't like to segment the market in terms of who's the promoter. Of course, Government of India is a big promoter of a lot of businesses. Longer term, I don't think we should be, the interests are aligned of the government and the minority shareholders. But there are sectors where there is virtual monopoly, right? For example, defense. There are not too many companies that manufacture aircraft or helicopter or radars or those kind of things. There are only those few players. So there is a runway available to them. The private sector, by the time they come, it will be at least 5 years, if not 10 years from now. So there is a runway available for them. Clearly, those companies will do well. So instead of focusing on PSU versus non-PSU, I would say which are the businesses that excite me and which are the businesses that I want to own. Now, then I will see whether who owns that business and whether my interests and their interests are aligned or no. And in PSU, again, one more thing that we look for is there a right to win? Most of the PSUs don't have any right to win. What they need is a general bullishness in the economy for the stocks to do well, which is what they have been doing. The day there is going to be some kind of a dip in the economy or any kind of a challenge, that is where these companies will suddenly, the men and the boys will get separated. And I honestly feel it was only for example, in the banking space, it was only a reversion to mean trade. They continue to remain Me Too players. There is no special, there could be one odd PSU bank that has the right to win because of the depth and the penetration that they have. But in general, and it is a stated intent of the government that eventually there will be only 5 or 6 PSU banks left in this country. So you definitely want to be very selective and picky about which are the companies that you associate with.
So between 2023 Jan and 2024 Jan, have your top 4-5 holdings remained the same?
Good question. I am not very sure, but I would say, yeah, at least there would be 1 or 2 new ones that I've entered, more because of price performance rather than because I've placed a new bet. Yeah, clearly the last 12 months, a lot of stocks have done very well, and that is the reason why some of the stocks have come into the top 4-5 holding. It's not that we placed a big bet on it, but we run a very concentrated portfolio. So tends to happen that one particular stock doing well can increase the, it becomes a larger portion of the portfolio.
Okay. Couple of last questions. There are 2 big changes you've done in your portfolio. If I just take the clock back, you took IT completely out. You took, for example, pharma out. You've reduced the holding. Are there any large changes which you propose now we could see going forward, which could be radical changes in your portfolios, purely based on the thought process change?
Yeah, no, so clearly, as I mentioned, election is a big risk that we are carrying. For a lot of our portfolio companies are beneficiary of the government strategy, government action, and too much dependence on that can be a challenge this year. Again, as I said, the theoretical risk is that the government changes, but I don't think that's going to be actually the case. But if that was to pan out, then my portfolio is carrying a lot of risk, and I definitely don't want to incrementally, I don't want to increase that risk. I would want to reduce that risk going into the elections.